two, one. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Nigel J. Richardson here, back on another episode of Talk to Me Talk Show. We discuss various topics about our people, our youth, and our future. And today I have a very, very special friend and guest on my show today. Everybody give it up for Miss Daisha Hopkins. And today is going to be a little bit very interesting because this topic is something that she had came to me about, about seizing the moment. And I kind of asked her, like, what does it mean to you when you think about seizing the moment and being right now in the field that you're in, me being in education. And I kind of want to get into it about, like, what do you think seizing the moment is and how others can seize that moment. So let's go ahead, get into it, jump into it. And I will start off with this introduction and let Ms. Hopkins introduce herself. So let's get into it. Who are you?
Hello, I'm Daisha Hopkins. As you know, I went to Federal State University for undergrad and then left there, went to John F. Kennedy University for my graduate school. I am 25 and I am a senior therapeutic foster care treatment consultant.
Okay. So what's one thing that gets you up in the morning and that really motivates you and drives you to do what you do every day?
I would say my dedication to my goals. I know what I set forth. I know what I put on pen and paper, saying that I want to do, what I want to accomplish. And, if I didn't accomplish it the day before, then that's what is on the top of my brain as soon as I get up the next day.
Got you. So do you keep like a little like journal or like a little dream book or like a little prayer book with you at all times?
Absolutely. In the morning or whatever, my first thing that I do is get up in the morning and pray. Just ask God to lead and direct my path. I always keep me a journal just in case I come up with some type of idea during the daytime or something. So I can just get it off my chest, keep moving in the direction that I need to move into.
So when you talk about moving into direction, seizing the moment, moving into direction that you want to move into, how does one seize the moment, or what does it mean to you to seize the moment?
Oh man. So this is something that's real personal to me because I challenged myself in the year 2023 to do this. So three topics come to mind, which is consistency, having a sense of urgency, and also to find your own business coach, mentor, someone who's already doing what you want to do. So I'm just going into those three, just a little bit of each. Consistency might look like, you just sitting down. For one, you finding like, what you want to do. Takes discipline. It takes time for you to like get yourself like in a like building up that momentum, basically. You just have to be, I would say, you just got to be like on top of your stuff, and you can't be afraid to like just go out and like make whatever you need to make happen in order for you to maintain that consistency, and not giving up no matter what type of result that you get that day. If you see zero result, just saying, what, this is what I got today. I'm picking up that momentum and I'm gonna keep on going. I mean, there were so many times I know, with even with my job, business or whatever the case may be, that I went out and maybe talked to people, maybe did something, and I definitely didn't see any results. But it's all about what you're doing when I guess it's not working and you're not seeing stuff that's right up there up front. When it comes down to, for me, the sense of urgency, I definitely challenged myself with this one this year.
Got you.
That means being on it, man. Like when it comes down to the sense of urgency, like what you want to do is like, don't wait to take action towards something. Or if somebody say, okay, look, I'm gonna help you with this, I'm gonna help you with that. Like, don't wait. Like, just go ahead and get it done. Jump on it. Do what you got to do. It is what it is. It's 2023. Just go for it. I mean, this is stepping out on faith and really understanding that, what you're doing. What you're doing is literally, that's basically your time, your goal, what you set for yourself, and you just, don't wait on that.
All right, everybody. So we're back. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, but it is a-okay. So you were just talking a little bit about having a mentor when you're trying to seize the moment. So talk a little bit about the importance of having a mentor when you're trying to seize that moment.
Absolutely. So finding your own wavelength, meaning like whatever your personal convictions are, and seek someone who is already on the path that you want to be. Yes, that means like find someone that's doing better than you. A lot of people kind of cringe at that because it's like, shoot, I want to do this, I want to do that, and then having to go and find someone that's better than them
Mm,
makes like, I don't know about that. But let your pride and your ego get out of the way, man. Like you have to find someone that'll hold you accountable and to take you into that direction that you want to go. Which could be the very, I would say it could be here. It can be very hard. You have to become self-aware with your own thoughts and your own downfalls. I mean, you at this point, you want to be around someone who's just not going to let you get away with anything. It's kind of like your checks and balances. Like if you're going a certain direction and you going the wrong way at some point in time, this person knows, okay, where you going and what you doing, it ain't adding up. You want someone to be right there in your corner to be able to hold you accountable. That's one of the things that I found. You have to be willing to listen, taking criticism, constructive criticism, even when you're wrong. And you have to say, okay, not only that I'm wrong, but I'm actually going to take this time to go and fix what, I did wrong, but really move my pride to the side again to really understand, okay, this is what I did wrong and I can go back in to correct it so you can actually succeed in what you're trying to do.
mm,
One of the greatest things that I heard from a great leader in business entrepreneurship, don't squander your youth. That's from Manny Winston. A lot of people just want to say, hey, look, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this venture. I'll stop because you see no results. I'm gonna jump to this. I'm gonna do this venture. I'm gonna stop because you don't see no results. This and that. No, like stick to one thing. And because you don't see results, this means it's not working. It just means that you just don't see results yet. Like you have to continue to be consistent, continue to keep trying. And one day you will, but you have to hone that talent. Don't try to tackle too many things at once, because I know a lot of people, would jump from one thing to another, and it's like, I this ain't, this not working for me, whatever the case may be. But if you stick to that one thing, you're good. It's like my analogy that I definitely like to use. It's like some of us may went to college, graduated from a 4-year university. Some of us did, some of us didn't. So, but we had to wait to see the hard work pay off. Now, where you can be at, some amount of time, with unwavering focus and, trying to figure out whatever degree you're gonna, go for, or whatever your ideal goal is.
mm.
See, here's what I was always told, especially, by mentors. Take that same amount of time where you didn't know really if you was gonna get that degree or not. You just was told. When we first got to school, you told like, okay, you signed up to get a degree in psychology or a degree in education or whatever the case may be, and you have to consistently work at that with unwavering focus. We were in school for 4 years. There was no, I guess, indication that this was a guarantee at all whatsoever that we would hit our degree.
Nope.
um, Take that same dedication to a dream, goal, focus, business idea, whatever you trying to get up off the ground, and can you give it that? I mean, do you remember like the hard times, where you won't get maybe making the necessary grades that you wanted to make? You won't see the results that you wanted to see. Can you put all that using that same analogy to put in, your focus and still have unwavering focus when you don't see the results?
Mm. And see, I guess my biggest thing with like me trying to seize the moment is trying to figure out, well, a long time ago was knowing exactly what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. And seeing, like you said, having those mentors and having those people guide you and say, hey, you starting to slip up a little bit, you starting to fall. I know where you want to be, what you want to do, but you're not doing it right. So for me, it was the biggest thing of, okay, let me do a little bit more research and thinking of what I wanted to do. And one thing that kind of discouraged me or kind of turned me away was learning really about that pros and cons list and creating that for myself and saying, all right, this is cool, but this is the con side of what I'm doing, or I'm not doing this right. And then eventually, when I wanted to do more with it, it kind of took me away. And then I jumped to another venture, like you said, and trying to start something new instead of just continuing on with what I had, instead of really seizing that moment. And then now, with me being in education and really seizing that moment when I was working with the mentoring program and stuff, and leading up until now, it's like really taking the opportunity and having those people to guide me and doing that for myself, and really not being afraid was one of the biggest things for me too. And so I guess my next question for you is why do you think we as individuals sometimes become afraid or scared or even discouraged when it comes to seizing that moment?
When it comes down to that, I really feel that you could have even started a habit or have habits that, that you're probably not even, some people are not self-aware of it, but that you have habits that you might start that you're not really, or you don't know how to navigate. So you might set out to like go talk to a person, or do some type of network, with someone, or set out for a business venture. But we have these daily habits that, put it this way, that won't set us up for success.
Mm.
I, I really feel that sometimes, when you have that, those things that don't set us up for success, those principles are already put in place, which is the poor principles that you have, then you don't see the result. And you're like, okay, will I ever see the results? And then you start kind of downplaying it, and then, talking negative, and then you still have, maybe your family, your friends, everybody around you. It could be haters. I don't know. You have everybody around you though, like just telling you like this is, that ain't gonna work. I don't know if you've ever heard that before when you wanted to go and start like an idea or a business or whatever. And this is just me
Plenty of
speaking.
times.
Yeah. So this is me speaking from not only like going for the career I want, but seeking and like getting into business entrepreneurship. Something I, come off the ground with, like, and I'm really excited about it, and I'm ready to go and share the knowledge that I know with other people. you know, of course you can't believe any and everything that everybody say, especially during this age and time. You have to, be very, put it this way, you have to be led by like a certain conviction, like, okay, this is the route that I need to go. But um I think the fear of that, and just, okay, if I get out here and I push myself, what if I go out here and and fail? What
Mm.
if I go out here and really just embarrass myself? I know for me, my one of the things that I always move by is like, if you never take the risk, then you will never know.
Mm.
um, if Put it this way, if you take the risk, you could fail, but the thing is, you could also use that failure as a lesson. That's where the fail, adjust, and then go win comes from. And then also too, with helping with like daily habits. Okay, that's simple. You might need help with, I don't know, somebody might need help. Well, put it this way, someone might need help with, getting up in the mornings because the discipline is not there. For me, some of the things that I can just, speak of that worked for me, getting out of old habits and, going into new ones. So, I wouldn't be afraid and I wouldn't be scared, is for one, praying in the mornings, Bible study for me. And that's pretty much, I don't know exactly, everything, little thing and little detail that's in there, but, just asking that whatever I need to know would be revealed to me within that, certain light. And whether it's during the daytime, during that week, or whatever the case may be, I can read something and might not necessarily understand everything, all at once. So that's just me. That's how I do things. Keeping a daily calendar and planner. If it don't go on the calendar, what I always tell people is not going to happen. Because I mean, several times I can literally say I'm planning stuff with my friends, and it just did not happen. We didn't. We said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna plan something." Then a week go by, 2 weeks go by, a month go by. Shoot, months go by, then a whole year go by. We like, we said we gonna plan something last year, we never did it.
Can't plan no summer trip with your friends.
Nothing. That's like everybody. We got to remember we're adults too now. It's not like we, in college we could just go knock on each other's room door, things like that. Reading. One of the books that I definitely have been but definitely have been interested in. Some of the books I've already been, reading is Entrepreneur on Roller Coaster, Hung by the Tongue, Wired This Way, Atomic Habits, The Dream Giver. And those are the things that you got to kind of sit down. That take discipline too, especially if you got a busy day. And some people, I go from like 0 to 100 with the type of career and the field that I'm in, working with kids, parents, foster kids. It's a lot. I'm exercising. That gets me up in the. For me, I'm not an evening exerciser. I'm a morning exerciser. I can't put it this way. By the time I get to the evening, I'm ready to go to bed. I ain't gonna even hold you. I'm ready to go to sleep. So, and thinking and acting on three things daily I can do to move my business or something in my career forward, or something that I have right there in front of me for, whether that's talking to someone, networking, whether that's saying, okay, I'm going to sit down and write more of a business plan that I'm doing, or whether I'm going to may probably make a deal with someone to get something going, to have that type of connection, to have an extra network, and managing your time. I mean, managing your time is literally everything. And that's the reason for the calendar and the planner. You really got to set aside time and be intentional about setting aside time to get these things done, because I mean, literally, we get the same day. I think about some great people out here in this world that's moving: Jay-Z, Beyonce, Steve Harvey. I think about some of the things that they do, and also too what makes them great. And it's like they have to be intentional. If you're gonna set aside 10 minutes for something, let that be the 10 minutes for that. Okay, 20 minutes for this. Personally, I take an hour when I go to the gym to do, I even break up from, if I'm getting detailed, break up from cardio and weightlifting. Like that's something like literally that I have to be intentional about doing. I mean, you could literally set your time up on your phone and then just stay focused, man. Like stay focused on your goal, even when you work a 9 to 5. That's a lot. That's a big one. Just stay focused, because a lot of people say 9 to 5, I get home, I'm tired, this and that. No, use your 9 to 5 to fund your dream.
Mm,
That's what I always say. Just also remember to, like, entrepreneurship is working with people and, having good character, and even following through on your commitments is everything. So, you keeping those principles and you keeping those things in front of you, and you just kind of removing those poor habits and replacing them with the new ones can, like, really take away the fear, because, everybody that, that's supposed to be there for you, you'll be able to start to pay attention to it,
mm,
and be able to make the necessary removals as possible that you might need to make. And then also continue to keep the people, though, that's there for you in your circle, because everybody is there for a different, reason. Of course, people got seasons in your life, but you also want to, you know, just make sure that if you're moving by something that you're convicted on and not by somebody else, and just finding your real things. I really feel like that normally takes away the fear versus give you fear, but you have to keep yourself grounded in that way, especially seeking what we're trying to do, especially in season the moment.
mm. So how do you realize, okay, now I want to do this for myself? How do you realize that the people that you're around, or certain types of people, you need to go ahead and remove? How do you know, or when do you realize that now it's time for me to go ahead and do that? And how do you go about doing that? And definitely, I ask this because when we have those friendships or those relationships, and even with our friends and family and loved ones, stuff like that, sometimes it's hard to tell them, like, okay, I got something that I'm really grinding hard, that I'm really working towards. And some people will tell you, like, oh, well, you're just working too hard, or you don't care about nobody, you don't come around no more. But for them, it's hard to understand sometimes that I'm doing this for myself. But then you got those other people that really support you, but in the end, they don't really care. So how do you realize, like, how do you recognize the difference between those two types of groups?
So for me, I wait,
Mm,
and a lot of people don't like this game, but what I do is I just wait. I'm a very put it this way, I'm a patient person when it comes down to certain things like that. But I, present what I'm trying to do. And I'm a strong believer in time will tell.
Mm,
And a lot of people think that, you go into a situation and that you quickly, supposed to make necessary, adjustments and changes, this and that, because I wait and I listen for discernment. Because for me, I always think about the decisions before I make them. I'm an observer. Like I definitely observe, like everything that's around me. I try to, make sure that when I am making decisions, this is something that I thought about beforehand.
mm,
Um, how people move when it comes down to what what my ideas, what my business is. Do I have to worry about you putting me down every single time that I bring it up? And even if it's something that you don't necessarily agree with, or something that you don't necessarily, say this is something that's in my lane, but I get it because everybody is not for the same idea, the same thing. I just see how you handle it. Cause you can be like, yeah, that really ain't for me, but I support you though. And
mm,
then we also too got to figure out what this ideal support might look like. Um, I really feel like, when it comes down to being genuine, you will know when like people around you want you to win and just when they just don't. And I think that was the toughest part and like the hardest part, about, all of this is that thinking like, man, like one day, with people who I try with and tried to, keep around, whether whoever category that is, friends, family, whatever the case may be, it's like I know everybody is not gonna go with me to where I'm trying to, go. And that was the biggest part. But you just gotta wait and just see how people act, see how they respond. My whole idea of support changed when I was able to start a business, when I was able to start getting wins and posting them online. Because it was so long I wasn't winning. Like I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't, like, I felt like, yeah, I'm good, I'm doing the average thing, but it was a long period of time even before I got my first full-time job, breaking into the field of psychology that I broke into now. See, a
mm.
lot of people really don't understand that part where, and I'd be freaking out, don't mind sharing this, but it took me from the time, I graduated from, Fayetteville State University to last year to have a full-time job in my field.
Mm.
And like for me or whatever, I was hungry until then. Like I was just literally hungry. I was doing volunteer work. That's how I was able to get the type of experience and things that I needed. That's how I was able to do the things that I need. I'm like, look, let me know. I'm here. I remember just going and driving to my like different jobs or whatever the case may be, and I'm just like even though I might not make anything for it, it will pay off in the future. And just seeing how everybody else around me paid attention to that, and if you were one of the ones that felt like you need to be in a better spot, and you need to do this or you need to be doing that, because sometimes family can do it too.
Yeah.
Uh, I was just like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna love you, but I have to love you from afar. You know, I understand what you're saying, but you got to see the bigger picture, and and then also two friends during this time or whatever, starting to being able to start a business or whatever, like if I had an idea or a goal or whatever, and I saw that the friends that I was around was like, why are you doing that or this and that, or are you them the ones I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to push it back. I'm gonna have to, maintain my focus, because when I focus on something, it has to be unwavering.
Yeah.
I only want people that's gonna add to it and enrich it, and I see what position and what part you're gonna play in this. So that's how I had to make my decisions about a lot of people that were in my life and that wasn't in my life, and then to trust the process that with me, stepping away or moving to the side doesn't mean we ain't never going to be on the same terms again. It just means you might not align with the season in my life that I'm embarking upon right now.
Mm.
So just kind of figuring that out because, I mean, that was one of the hardest things to do, but yeah, that's how I navigate that.
Mm. And with season like right now, in the seasons, I always say seasons that we're in right now with this adulting thing that we got going on, is like you really come back to time management, like you said, having those times that you want to set aside for what you want to do and what you need to do, and still being able to spend time with others is really important, just to let them know like, hey, I'm still here, I still care, but this is what I got going on. I hope you see it. Either you support me or you don't. So
Yeah.
that was really important. So I guess my last final and wrap up question is, what advice would you give to someone right now that wants to start a business or jump into their career or jump into the field, and they're kind of scared or nervous about doing it, or they think that they're not where they need to be or where they want to be. So like they're not, yeah. So they're not where they want to be or where they need to be in order to be successful. What advice would you give to them right now when it comes to this topic?
So it wouldn't be it wouldn't be the put it this way, the sports psychology part of me if I didn't, say this, but you gotta relax. Relax. Everything will be all right. Breathe in and breathe out and trust the process. And I say go for it. And that's literally just stepping out on faith and going for what you want to go for. You know, if you literally seize the moment, find that consistency within yourself to start building those habits that you need. And this is not, see, my habits can be different from, that person that might want to jumpstart, into a new venture. Like, don't listen to my habit. You need to find your own habits. You need to become more self-aware with yourself, and you need to say, okay, if you have a issue with, communication, or if you have an issue with, having an attitude with people, if you have an issue with, with just, I don't know, just overall commitment, saying
Mm.
that there's several times or whatever that, I ran across people that we'll talk about something, we'll plan to meet, we'll be like, oh yeah, I'll see you next week. I'll call you next week. We'll be there next week at 3 o'clock or whatever. And then, either you ghost or you might be like, can I counsel today? Cause yeah, it ain't gonna really work out. And it's like, what happened to like you put it this way, it was treating it like it was like you were the CEO of the business,
Mm.
and you were having a business that you wanted to like go far. Um, Step with the spirit of excellence. Like, look at the way that you dress, look at how you are with people, build your brand. So, and don't let that be don't let it scare you, but you really got to deep down, like dig deep down into you and figure out like which ones I need to work on personally so I can be my best self in any of those areas, because in any business or whatever, you will be working with people. Um, Period. And I'm going to say, once you master that,
Mm.
you're good to go. Everybody's not the same way. People have different styles of doing things. People have different styles of communication. Be direct in communication. You just gotta be sure that you're, just putting it out there. You're being the person that you said that that you would be. I guess when a person first initially meets you. Also too, don't go back on your commitments. Don't flake on those,
Mm.
because again, remembering this is your brand. It's very interesting. Most of us, some of us still got Android phones, but a lot of us, got Apple phones. I know I got an Apple phone, but just listening to the story of like how he had to get his business started or whatever the case may be, build it like it was the CEO of Apple. Like, and knowing one day everybody gonna have the type of phone that I'm producing. That's what it's gonna be. And being futuristic like that and saying, okay, no matter what, unwavering focus. I'm gonna work on the things that I need to work on. And then also too, not that I'm also gonna be out, networking with people, having the spirit of excellence, and also to finding my way along as I sometimes may fail, but then adjust to whatever I failed on, go back and write those lessons down, and then just go in.
And that's a great way to wrap that one up. So yeah. So making sure I have any other questions. And so before we wrap up, did you have anything else that you wanted to add in or drop on before we wrap up?
So really, I just would love to just honestly, I would love to have a friend. She is actually one of my friends that she's been in LA. We actually went to we was in our program together. She has a music series, which is a really, really dope music series. It's called Fashionably Late, and it basically highlights the new upcoming artists, that's coming out that really nobody don't even know about yet, but they're really dope. And that they just waiting for somebody to come, scope out their talent, come see them and everything, and also to match it up with a line that she has, her own fashion line. So Fashionably Late, dope music series. You can find her on YouTube. That's something that I definitely would like to throw out there, just in addition to like someone who's just trying to get their brand, up off the ground and things like that.
Well, once again, Ms. Hopkins, we appreciate having you on the show. And for anybody that wants to get in contact with you or wants to ask you for advice or even get some advice on anything as far as counseling or even with Season the Moment, how would they get in contact with you?
Absolutely. You can use my mental performance. It's mental performance underscore Daisha. Mental performance coach. I'm sorry, underscore Daisha. Or you can get into contact with me at DaishaHopkins.a@gmail.com, and I will be in touch with you. And however you need, whatever you need, I'll probably be able to put you in that right direction. If you just need some advice, I don't mind doing that either.
All right. Well, once again, we appreciate having you on the show, and we will actually see you pretty soon for another episode. So, yeah.
Perfect.
All right. Well, until next time, this is the end of that. So, till next time, talk to me.